Hey everyone, I'm Rambo Az, and I'm your co-commissioner for the Firetail League. Let me take this time to explain what we have in store. We have 6 teams comprised of 36 AUNZ players, all competing for a $1,000 prize pool. The regular season will run over 5 weeks in a round-robin format. Each team will play each other only once, which means you've got to make the most of every match. At the conclusion of the round robin, second and third will face off for the right to challenge first in the grand final. This is where the best of the best will take each other on to finally determine the winner of the inaugural Firetail League. Each match begins with a turf war. Win that and your team chooses the first game mode for set 1. The match consists of 3 sets of 3 games. The winner will be the team that wins 2 sets, but regardless of when that happens, all 9 will be played out. This means every game is super important if you want to make it to the finals. Each week, the top players will be voted on by the viewers, the winners taking home some Asus ROG swag. Voters have the chance to win an Asus ROG Go wireless headset with USB connection, perfect for the Switch.
Greetings, squids and kids, sports fans and Tower on Port fans. Welcome back to the Firetail League. You're joining us now for the start of round 2. Who is us? Well, I am Urns, and I am joined this week by the lovely Calamar Cat. Say hi.
Hello everyone, how you doing?
Yeah, and we're excited to bring you tonight Brisbane Boom and Perth Fury. 2 teams that had very interesting first rounds. Which we will get to very shortly. But firstly, I want to thank our lovely sponsors for helping us put on this tournament. We couldn't do it without them. We can see here our No One matchup. No One being an excellent internet provider, won't be getting any disconnects with No One. ATAR Support Bench, our lovely ATAR helping people. Probably not the official term, but very useful for if you're needing to get some help for your ATAR studies. They have excellent support courses and all kinds of things that you can sign up for. That's always lovely. Can't forget FLC's ATAR support desk. We'll get to that in a second as well. Republic of Gamers helping out with our awesome gamer gear. Looking at those sweet headsets in that opening video. I know I want to get my hands on one, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah,
and finally,
definitely.
Finally, we've got our Strutties, lovely jerseys. You might have been seeing the posts on Twitter last week about all the players and staff in their lovely Strutties jersey. Tell us how comfortable they are in 10 words or less.
Lovely material, quite warm, surprisingly, beautiful design.
Wow, yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's perfect. I put you on the spot and you absolutely smashed it. That's awesome. Cool. So now that we've thanked our lovely sponsors, let's have a look at what's on screen right now. This is our current standings for the Firetail League for our 2 teams that are facing off today. Why don't you run us through how last week's matches panned out?
So last week we had Perth Fury winning their match. They won 2 of the 3 sets they had to play with 6 games total over the 9 in the 3 sets. 179 kills, very nice there. 91 assists, I like to see that. 116 specials and 175 deaths, which is, almost scarily close to the number of kills they got as well. But Brisbane Boom currently in 6th because unfortunately they didn't win last week. I am slightly biased being from Brisbane, but anyway.
Of course.
They did win 3 of their 9 games last week, so not a complete pushover here. 201 kills, 90 assists, 136 specials, which is impressive, and then 213 deaths. So,
absolutely. These numbers look a lot bigger because we have played 10 games here. Like this is quite a large aggregate. If you divide everything by 10, you get a nice average per game. It's a nice way to do it, actually. Yeah. We've also been requested to mention that Alzi has acquired a nice number of deaths by the end of round 1.
Yes, 69, I believe it was. Very nicely done there.
Very well done landing on that perfect number. Definitely went for a few extra get splats just to make that happen. I don't think, while these results look definitely in Perth Fury's favour, we've got to keep in mind that these teams are up against some very stiff competition and are full of very stiff competition themselves. They will be able to duke it out, and I'm expecting to see quite even matches coming up very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly who's going to be playing tonight, but both of these teams do have 6 players that may appear. So Brisbane Boom, we have Alzi, Murray, Neru, Ray25, Will, and JSOD, who, that is a terrifying lineup. Versus Link, Perks, Ray41, River, Shades, and Tay, who, honestly, I'm not sure which of these lineups is more terrifying, actually, if I run up against them. So
I will say the commissioners have definitely done a great job putting together really strong and balanced teams. I know I don't stand a chance against any of these, which is why I'm back here and not on the battlefield right now.
Yeah, I feel like us getting to watch this and watching it from that spectator point of view, it's going to be so entertaining. I am perfectly happy to be on this side of it.
Absolutely. The amount of stress we feel compared to the amount of stress the players feel right now, definitely happy to be where we are. I think the audience agrees. Happy to be on the viewers bench for that one.
Definitely agree.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about these teams in depth and their responses so far. Perth Fury were going into this as a very well practiced team, one of the teams that have done the most out of series practice, joining several tournaments and doing very well in those tournaments. And we saw that when they actually played their set. They were very well rehearsed in how they were moving around, and they had loadouts that weren't too difficult to implement on, and when they were able to, they really got some good results.
Yeah.
Brisbane Boom were off to a bit more of a rocky start. We saw them using their comfortable weapons, and the thing is, a lot of the players on Brisbane Boom, they're big hitters, right? They're big stars when it comes to controlling a map, and they have the big weapons to make that happen. But because of that, their compositions were a little harder to pull off. And because of that, they weren't quite able to gain the momentum they were looking for in their last match.
I've played with 3 of the members of Brisbane Boom before, as part of Riptide or various other things. And yeah, they're very extremely skilled and tend to have some niche skill sets as well in terms of weapons and such. But I have always found that they're very good at adapting once you give them a couple of games to work on it. So I am expecting to see them grow massively over the length of the league. So
absolutely. I was just going to add to that. I think their teamwork is definitely the bit that is holding them back right now. And now that they've had a week after their first match, maybe a bit of a wake-up call being the only team to go 0-3. Might use that to motivate themselves and practice a bit more and really get that teamwork down pat. Maybe changing out a few of their members today as well to make those compositions work a little bit smoother.
Yeah. Who was it you said that they had playing last week?
So Brisbane Boom last week were playing JSOD, Murray, Alzi, and Ray25. All very strong players. But I can't help but feel like Neru or Will would have really greased up the works a bit, made it a bit smoother for them to get their pushes started and really transition into an aggressive strategy.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
And if I sound particularly informed about this, it's because I watched FLC's ATAR support desk, where they broke down all the team's compositions and how they've been progressing so far. So if you want to sound intelligent like me, all you got to do is tune in on Tuesday to check out FLC's support desk, where he went well overtime, just absolutely going nuts on all these teams.
It's FLC. What else do you expect?
It's exactly what I'd expect. Excellent. So our match is getting underway in about 5 minutes. But while we get to that, let's first have a talk about our first match here. We're starting with a turf war. And as is the league format for Firetail series, and I'm so happy about this, we always start with the shifty station.
Yes. This is going to be good. I'm looking forward to this a lot.
Now, it is currently slipping my mind which shifty station is coming up.
I do have that written down here. If
I can
very quickly scroll and find it.
Excellent. I eagerly await this. Just because last week we saw a lot of the shifty station picks were very important. Every team that won the turf war won the first mode they picked. So it is very critical to win this first turf war. Even if it doesn't score you any points, having control over the set and even getting to pick 2 modes if you're not winning your second mode, that's brilliant. That's such an advantage to have. Okay, Checkers is shout out in chat. Sweet Valley Tentacles is our first map.
Yeah.
This is such a good area control map. You have, very precise objectives to defend on this map. Being the, this is the one with the tentacle switches that you have to break to lower the doors, right?
Yeah, so it locks down parts of the map at the beginning until you can get those down and then progress through. So it's an odd take on Turf War, where usually, you can go anywhere and you can do the crazy flanks at the beginning. It does restrict what you can do. And of course, those fights always end up concentrated around the tentacle switches quite often. So you can get into some real trouble if you go in there without much support.
That makes a lot of sense. How do you think our teams are going to approach this kind of battle?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of 2v2s, to be honest. Making sure that nobody goes by themselves at the beginning. Because if you go for one of those tentacle switches by yourself and you run into 2 or 3 of the other team, you're probably going to be in a lot of trouble. Alternatively, maybe going for the kills first. Get 3 down, 4 down, and then just rush the tentacle switches and see how much you can get done before the other team respawns. Also potential. Yeah.
I think the first switches are quite easy to hit. They're very exposed from memory. You just need to be able to break through the center of the map to reach them. And once one of them's down, it does technically open up the space for both teams. It's the second and the third switches that are really critical. Especially reaching the third switch means that you get into your opponent's spawn and you can lock them out. And a lockout in Turf War is almost going to guarantee a win, especially with a map as closed up as this one.
Yeah, this is quite a small map, all things considered.
Yeah. With the 2v2 strategy, I could see that working. We have 2 on the offensive at all times, trying to break through to the other team's switch, and 2 on the defensive, just sharking around your switch, trying to catch anyone awry. And because of that, I wouldn't be surprised to see some closer range weapons, some very quick to splat weapons coming out from these teams.
Yeah.
I could definitely see a Tri-Slosher, CDS. Definitely, both of these teams like to slosh. They both have 2 players that are very comfortable on sloshes. So it'll be interesting to see that. And one further tactical note, now that I think about it, is that Perth Fury have played all of their players at least once so far. I believe that is the case. Just looking at my notes. Actually, I don't have Turf War recorded, but probably have. I know Brisbane Boom have only played with the set of 4. A lot of teams have said they don't want to break their momentum, so they don't want to do subs mid-match. But that means that we're likely to see a different lineup from Brisbane Boom this week. Whereas Perth Fury can still spread themselves across the modes that they prefer and potentially use that to their advantage.
Yeah, it's always a trade-off with that kind of thing. Do you sub each game and make sure you have your strongest players for each map and mode? Or do you continue the momentum and continue the synergy throughout the entire set and not sub at all? It is quite the dilemma.
It's a question I certainly still haven't solved.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a time and a place for both. And I think, of course, the other thing is tilting. If you're playing a set and you start losing a few games in a row and one of your team members start tilting, it can be good to sub them out. 1, to give them a break, and 2, so that the other team members, I don't like wording it this way, but don't get infected by it.
It's absolutely an infectious thing. 100%, if you've got your team in voice chat, one person starts complaining about lag or some bad shots,
yes,
it can snowball quite rapidly. So as a captain, you've got to be able to make that decision on the fly.
And that's when, even if you don't intend to sub by default, it can also be handy just to have that 5th player waiting in the wings in case something starts going wrong, or even if someone's internet starts playing up. It can be very helpful to have that 5th player waiting just in case they're needed, so they can do a quick sub in and whoever needs a break can have a break.
Makes sense. I do have a little bit of insider knowledge here. I can tell you that Will is not in the Brisbane Boom voice chat.
Yep.
Additionally, in Perth Fury, one of the players isn't there. I'm just doing a bit of quick deduction to determine who that is. I believe River is not in the voice chat at the moment. So we might not be seeing those players tonight, or they might be coming in a bit later. But that will restrict our teams on what they will be picking, and
Yeah.
almost certainly guarantees that Nero is going to be getting some playtime today.
Yeah, that'll be good to see. I must admit, I do always like watching Neru play. It's just something about how Neru positions and seems to think about the game I find fascinating. So I am hoping for that. But also, same with Perks. I do like watching Perks play as well. So,
Maybe we'll get both.
would be nice. Would be very nice.
It's actually quite likely. Great. So I've been informed that we are up to weapon selection now. In fact, I think we can hear it in the background there.
Yeah.
So we will be getting underway very shortly, in 90 seconds or less. And speculation will be no more. I mean, I hope Brisbane are feeling psyched up about this. They had a rough week of it last week, but I think they are very much in a position to come back. A lot of people think they're going to be the top team to beat, and I think they really want to prove that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to see it as a Brisbaneite. But yeah, this is a competitive lineup, so I'm keen to see what they can do. All right, that sounded like the start of the match.
Excellent. Let's transition that screen over with magical stream powers as we move into our turf war, playing for position. Here we go. Oh, look at that Sweet Valley Tentacles map. It's so cool.
I really do wish we had more maps like this. Oh, that's a com.
Okay, talk us through it.
All right, on Brisbane Boom, we have custom Julie Squelches, Ends Up 89, Tenatech, and the Sheldon's Heavy versus Perth with also Sheldon Heavy, 2 custom Julie Squelches, and the that splatter shot. I'm sorry, I just forgot the brand.
That's okay. That's the Ketchup splatter shot. Already, Gate 2 is open, and we have Brisbane Boom definitely on the back foot at the moment. They've only just opened their first gate, I believe. It looks like Perth Fury are going for the strategy of rushing the gates, as you mentioned. And it's working well for them.
3 down on, I think, Brisbane Boom right now, so that'll be another tentacle most likely.
Yeah, the last tentacle does have the most health, but the 3 of them have already cleared it out. And Perth Fury are in an excellent position to win this fight now. They have 1 tentacle they need to protect, and it's not going to be hard for them to send 1 person off to do that. And the rest of them are on lockout duty. This is going to be a rough 2 minutes for Brisbane.
Yeah. I mean, those Julie Squelches are giving them a bit of range where they can just kind of sit back and fire. And plus with the Heavy as well, they're able to keep quite a bit of turf in front of them to stop them from being rushed too badly. You do have the Inkjet coming out. 1 down. Oh, nice splat there, Link.
Absolutely. Gets the trade out. The Booyah Bomb's coming out as well. It seems that Brisbane have decided they need specials to get back into the zone. The Inkstorm is going to help them with that as well. We can see the 3 of them are positioned in a very advantageous position. However, Tay does take them out. These CDSs, they're going to be hard to pin down and hard to take out. And that is definitely going to be working in Perth's favour at the moment.
Oh yeah. There is also a lot of little obstacles in this map as well. Corners, those pillars there. Lots of things for the Julie Squelches to roll behind to get out of danger.
My goodness, Crowboy pointing out, these are the team's actual colours. It's almost as if this matchup was meant to be. And with that is 2 down now on Perth. 1 minute to go. This is still anyone's game. The second gate is down. If Brisbane can manage to pop this 3rd tentacle, they will easily be able to equalise here. I mean, it's hard to hold onto a defense for 2 minutes in Turf War. And I think that Perth did a very good job holding it together as long as they did. But now they are on the back foot here. They're going to need to make some picks happen if they want to continue to win this match.
Yeah, that map is becoming very yellow there.
Absolutely. It's definitely looking like it's going to be in Brisbane's favour. All the walls are down now as well. And with 1 down on either side, it's really going to come down to whoever gets these picks in the next 20 seconds. We have 1 down on either side.
Now got Link.
Not much else.
Just looking for a splat there, I think. Might get... No?
No, they're not quite able to do it. I think the turfing output... Oh, that's 2 down on either side again. The turfing output I would think would be in Perth's favour, but it's going to come down to what the map says. It could go either way, but it's looking very Brisbane.
Yeah, that looked like there was 1 or 2 people in... They basically traded bases at the end there.
Absolutely.
Very nicely done there.
Yeah, very close. I mean, Brisbane definitely at the disadvantage to start with, but that's the thing. When you're down, it's easier to get special, and they were able to use that to rush back in, get all the tentacles they needed to hit, and bring it back. Brisbane are off to a strong start.
Yeah, very nice there. And I did like that we got to see Nero for a bit, and we got just the right moment as well. I love that. The getting splattered by a heavy that is all of a couple of meters away doesn't happen all the time, and Nero does it quite often, and I love it. So
great. So with that, that is Brisbane winning the play for service. They will get to pick the first mode for this set. Now, knowing Brisbane, what do we think they're gonna pick? I mean, I can cheat, but
I'm trying to guess. I would think tower control, maybe?
Yeah, I believe that is the mode they won. Oh no, they haven't won a mode. So tower control.
I did guess it right.
Well predicted. Good job.
Yep. I mean, between the buckets, the Dynamo, the shooters, the heavy, tower control just makes sense.
Absolutely.
Probably
based on their compositions as well, I would not be surprised to see Murray running the K Dynamo, seeing JSOD on the K Slosh, and then they'll probably bring Nero in with something a bit more close range, potentially. You know, Nero's pretty flexible.
Or the heavy on the tower. That is
my goodness, that's so much backline though.
It can work though. I mean, I've seen Murray play a very aggressive frontline Dynamo occasionally. I'm pretty sure I've seen Murray do that.
I'm not doubting that frontline Dynamo can work, but I'm also not doubting that Perth Fury can punish that if they overextend just the littlest bit. This isn't just some solo lobby. This is really where you've got to work with your team. And again, these are pickup teams. They have been together for a little bit now, but they still don't have that perfect synergy that a pre-made team would have. And because of that, I feel like they're going to play it a bit safer to start with, especially now that they've won play for service. They might take things a bit slower.
That is true. We do also have the map now. We're apparently going to be playing Tower Control Inkblot, which
makes sense.
It's not one of my favorite Tower Control maps, just because of the fact that the path is overlooked by battlements so much, and that means that you can get shot at while your enemy is staying fairly safe for a lot of it.
Absolutely. I think the main key to winning tower control on Inkblot is getting someone sharking up in those battlements, because as soon as there's someone there, you can't move in safely. So you're either really slowing yourself down or you're getting splattered very quickly. And that leads to quite a snowball. So if you can root yourself in your opponent's battlements, you are set.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, I'm wondering if we're going to see any blasters this time around, because also with all the different levels in this map, it can be quite nice to have the blasters to essentially shoot around corners.
I don't know which of these players would run a blaster though.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Trying to think who would do it, but
yeah, a bit hard to pick. In the meantime as well, we do have the bans for this round. Manta has been banned and TC Port has been banned. Manta makes a lot of sense considering Brisbane's result on that last week. But it seems that they're trying to keep things nice and open. They don't want any mazes. They don't want anywhere they can get caught.
Yeah.
And so TC Port is a natural sacrifice of that.
Fair. All right. We have the comps coming out.
They're looking pretty similar. We have a heavy remix on both teams. Murray on the Gold Dynamo, not too surprising there. And we do have close range shooters rounding out the rest of that team. Definitely similar comps, I would say.
Yeah.
The difference being that we have a Dynamo versus Soda Slosher, and the Soda Slosher, while it is more mobile, doesn't quite have the coverage that Murray is going to be getting over the enemy team here.
Yeah, the Soda Slosher and the Dynamo are both very nice for flicking up onto battlements above, of course, so that should help them quite a bit with pushing, even if they don't get the... Oh, that's a full wipe!
That is absolutely a full wipe. A wonderful Booyah Bomb after a few splats from Murray there. Very easily able to clear up and allow Ray up into the battlements with that Inkjet. This is exactly what we're talking about. Now there's no way for the other team to approach because Brisbane are just so entrenched in those battlements. It's going to take a lot of effort, and they're already losing members. No one on Brisbane has actually gone down yet.
Yeah, when they had Nero running around on the battlements as well, of course, able to keep distance there and to pick people off from a long way, which is very nice to be able to do there. We have another inkjet coming out. Was that the Ray?
That was a Ray, yeah. It was a nice trade there, but already they've cleared all the checkpoints, and this is very dangerous for Perth. This is very early for this to happen, and the Booyah Bomb's gonna allow them to get a KO. Oh. No, wait, yes.
Nice.
Almost no, but then yes.
Yeah, it was so close to continuing for a bit longer, but no, we got the straight KO. That was the only push I think that happened in the entire game. So
only one.
Yep. All those spots there, very nicely done.
I mean, this is what we expected to see from Brisbane from the get-go, right? Is like amazingly powerful area control. Once they get somewhere and they have it, they don't let it go. And because Perth were just so desperately trying to get in there, I didn't exactly see how those forts panned out because the autospec loves to show those checkpoints just casually moseying on through.
Yeah.
We didn't see exactly how their approach was to getting rid of them, but I mean, without some serious bombs or some kind of brilliant strategy, Brisbane Boom were there to stay.
Yeah, especially with those inkjets coming out quite a few times there, I think, from the battlements, keeping Perth Fury right up near their spawn, really. So they just couldn't move very far at all. Yeah, very well played there by Brisbane Boom.
Sure, and I think also speaks volumes of Nero swapping in, and then immediately the team just gels so much better. Their comp was just well covered. The Dynamo was unassailed the whole time. It was very good. Like they were able to very quickly take out the enemy team in mid and just never give them another chance.
Yeah, I am really keen to see these next matches now. If that's a sign of what's to come, it's gonna be good.
I think the thing that concerns me the most as well is that Perth picked that map. So that was the map that they thought they would win the most, which doesn't exactly fill me with confidence for them. I know Brisbane Boom is very good at tower control, but like to win the map that Perth prefers means that they are ready to take this one out.
Yeah, and I think Perth Fury would have gotten to pick this one as well, I believe, as the losers. So they've decided to pick Skipper Pavilion, apparently.
Yeah, it's another quite open map. Doesn't have the same battlement problem as the last one. It's a lot harder to get all up in your opponent's business on this map. But there is the flanks that you have to worry about.
Yeah, the problem with Skipper is always that I think in every mode or almost every mode there is a couple of approaches for whatever the objective is. And you do have to split up quite a bit. And that means predicting the other team is, are they going to split up and actually use the flanks, or is all four going to rush in one direction? You very much have to be watching the other team and be able to predict and adapt to what they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm hoping these teams can predict and adapt because I didn't see any weaknesses in Brisbane's approach there. They were very centered when they got up onto the platforms. They were all backing each other up. They never overextended too far. And they just didn't lose any players. I imagine Perth Fury are probably going to change their loadout a bit to help with that a bit more. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do.
I think they really need to try and prevent Brisbane Boom from getting set up. If they can take enough turf control and keep getting enough picks that Brisbane Boom just can't quite get the control they need, they should be able to keep pushing. But I expect even against that, the tail's probably going to go back and forth a little bit. I can't see this one being a straight KO like the last one. Not with Perth having an idea now of what Brisbane's going to be doing and trying to counter that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Also, Perth Fury, from my understanding, the team is a bit more adaptable. They have extra weapons in their back pocket. So hopefully they can make something happen with that. I mean, look, I love Tower on Skipper. It's a brilliant map. Very friendly to rapid blasters, which many tower maps aren't.
Yep.
So yeah, that's going to be very exciting.
Here we go. All right, TC Skipper, what weapon comps have we got in here today?
Yeah, I definitely ran out of things to store with, so thank goodness. Excellent.
Hey!
Ooh, that's some changes. I like what I'm seeing there. We have a heavy deco coming out for Ray 41. And there's that rapid deco as well. Like to see it.
Yeah.
Very adaptable on this map. A significant change coming out from Perth Fury. They've definitely seen that their existing comp wasn't going to work against the Brisbane Boom, and they have changed it. Hopefully they see some results.
Very different rollouts here too. Brisbane Boom all went down to the south of the map, all 4 of them. Whereas Perth Fury decided to split up. They had 2 go mid and 2 go to the south.
It was looking good initially, but now with only their heavy deco faced down by an inkjet, yeah, jump out is probably the best idea there. And that's going to be another early lead for Brisbane Boom. Repping the yellow color. They are doing a wonderful job at moving forward here. Already cleared the first checkpoint and pushing on to the second. The bubbles are going to come out, but they don't quite reach. And that is very unfortunate because the second checkpoint has also been cleared. And we've only got 2 splats for Perth Fury at the moment. They really need to get some more splats if they're going to be able to stop this push.
Yeah, we did have Nehru having to retreat there to get away from all the chaos that was happening. So the tower is no longer under Brisbane's control. But still, with a 42-point push, even if they just defend for the rest of the match, it's still possible that that could be a valid strategy.
Absolutely. 42 remaining on this map is definitely a score you can win with. Not guaranteed by any means, but it is certainly not something to easily overcome. The armor comes out a bit too late there for Shades. And, I mean, this Deco heavy remix is doing some serious work. They are eventually taken out. Are both of the Rays running a heavy? Is that what's happening? I think that's what's happening.
No, I think it's Nehru. Oh, I'm not sure.
Anyway, not important. First checkpoint is cleared. This is good. Perth Fury are doing this in steps. They're not overcommitting and getting wiped. They're passing a checkpoint, pulling back, waiting for their reinforcements, and trying again. And if they can keep that pattern up, they are more than set to take this set out. Inkjet does manage to scare off one player as the second checkpoint is already reached. The lead is looking scarily close, but Alzi does run in and take out Ray. A very important pick. The Booyah Bomb's going to scare Perks off as well, and I don't know if they're going to make it out of there alive.
Shades just lurking around. Oh, does get a pick there. Very nice. Does go down there.
I mean, look, a lot of the members of Brisbane were sharking around at that point.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Nero is the one on the heavy. Thank you for the correction, chat.
Yep.
And with half of the duration of this match expended, it's very close. Brisbane can easily accumulate more score, having cleared both of the checkpoints, but Perth only need to clear one checkpoint and the lead is pretty much theirs. A Booyah Bomb is going to allow them to get a bit more positioning around that tower, especially because they've just lost a few members. Oh, excellent work there! Murray, not only with the Booyah Bomb, but the very quick flick to be able to bring up the defense as well. That's another one!
Very nicely done.
Goodness, someone's going for a play of the week.
And there's the 4th as well. Slow
Okay.
quad there, still counts as a quad. Very
Absolutely.
nice.
I confirm we'll be seeing that in the Strutties replay here. Murray not only getting that initial flick, but also slamming down on 2 other members and allowing their team to completely shut down what could have been a dangerous push.
Yeah. The Booyah placement, the movement around that block there, just the way that Murray plays Dynamo is so
Booyah Bomb just ate up all those suction bombs. That was brilliant.
Ooh.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but that was excellently played. I mean, running that many cancel weapons is very powerful, usually for defense on tower, but also offense, apparently, as a minesweeper.
We got to 3 points there. That was so close. I was watching for it to KO, but no. Perth Fury did come in at the last moment there and managed to push that, stop that push. So we may yet get a reversal. 1 minute left.
Absolutely. They did come in quite strong. Again, yeah, with 1 minute left, it's going to be very tough for them to pull off. The Inkjet is not able to find any additional picks here, which means it is going to be very hard for them to move forward. Shades, however, does sneak in. If they can unseat that heavy remix and Dynamo combo, they will be sitting pretty. The specials are coming out now. Booyah Bomb does get them off the tower temporarily, but it's looking like they might be able to clear it. Dynamo's down. They're not quite in position.
We have 3 down at the moment.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. They've cleared it. They're going to be able to reach third checkpoint here, but with the respawn, if these picks can come out and be very pivotal, they will not be able to reach that third checkpoint.
Yeah, we only have less than 20 seconds left here. Perth really need to be able to get a few more points on that tower there. Shades can't quite make it on. The tower just keeps going back and forth here at the moment.
Absolutely. Tay is waiting to get on that tower, but knows the enemy team is totally watching it. They don't have any time left, so they have to dive for it. And they are taken out.
Oh, very nice defense there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely... unfortunately for Perth, Brisbane were definitely set up to stop that overtime push. And they really just ran out of time. Perth did eventually get it going for their team, but they just weren't quite able to get it going soon enough.
Yeah. I think from a quick glance there, the splats weren't even that different between the two teams. But I think Brisbane are so good at just controlling an area once they're set up properly. That is definitely going to be something that Perth Fury are going to have to, fight against.
Absolutely. And moving into our last tower control match now, Brisbane have won the first set. But Perth do get another chance to try and shake their confidence before moving into the almost inevitable Rainmaker round to follow.
Yeah, and every match within a set counts as well, potentially in this league, because the tiebreaker rules, if I remember correctly, go by wins and sets then matches. So, even though Brisbane have won this set, if Perth Fury can win this match, it might help them down the line as well.
Checkers is always saying, and definitely didn't just say once in a recording, every game matters.
Yes. And I mean, it does also affect the counter picks. I think if whoever loses this game gets to pick the mode for the next set?
So whoever loses the set picks the next mode. So Perth Fury are guaranteed to pick the next mode.
Right.
And Brisbane Boom are guaranteed to pick the first map of that round.
Right.
So, yeah, this match only matters for tiebreaker purposes. So teams are usually using this as a way to try something new, maybe shuffle things around a bit in their lineup. Or potentially, if you're going to be subbing in a new player for the next mode, you can get them warmed up with this match.
That's a good point. That would be a good use of this match.
Definitely. It's also something I totally just thought of, but I think it's a really good idea.
So you're not meant to admit that. Otherwise, just sound smart. It's fine.
Okay. We're moving into tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard. This map, not quite like the others. The first two sets of maps are very much about ascending stairs with a tower, with battlements all around you. This map is a bit more covered from the sides. That first checkpoint especially is very tricky to pass through just because of how many different positions it can be attacked from.
Agreed. It's very open, so you can have people coming up from the flat ground around you. You can have people on the battlements ahead of you, or that great thing that pops out the side of the map. You could have people cutting through mid. You definitely need to be very alert and watching where the other team is coming from on this one again. So
I feel like players at this level probably have pretty good team communication, but if they've worked out strategies to use that information, then they will be a set above the rest.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some very strategic specials on this map. I've seen Stingrays used, I've seen Booyahs used, I've seen even Rains used on this to make sure you're clearing that path ahead of the tower. Or even just, throwing out a rain across the plat in case anyone's sharking there, because then you might know where they are. So definitely expecting the specials to be quite important on this one.
Makes a lot of sense. I don't see Brisbane changing their lineup too much, considering how well it's been working for them so far. And Booyah Bombs, certainly not a bad idea for tower defense. It's been working very well for them. Yeah, it's even countering the suction bomb strat that we saw coming out from Perth. They definitely changed their weapons to allow for those additional suction bombs, and they were just all rinsed off. I was so amazed to see that happen. It really speaks to the tactics that have gone into Brisbane Boom's lineup for this next set.
Yeah, I mean, the suction bomb on tower thing it's the oldest strategy in terms of bombs on tower, I feel. So it can be a good one. But yeah, Brisbane were just already prepared to counter that. So I do wonder how Perth Fury might go. We might see a completely different strategy. That would be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I would love to see something changed up. If anyone's going to change up their strategy, it's Perth.
I agree.
I'm surprised I haven't seen any slushes coming out from them yet. I guess the maps that we've had haven't really been compatible for it. So that would probably explain that absence, but I could see them changing into it now that we have a much more, I guess, level-centric map.
Yeah, could be. Oh, it sounds like the match is about to begin, so we should find out very soon. Alright.
Excellent.
Sturgeon Shipyard, what do we got here?
Okay.
Ooh.
Now that is another change-up. We weren't expecting to see a change-up from Brisbane Boom, and we aren't. And that's fine. Instead, we don't have the K Dynamo anymore, but that's neither here nor there. However, we do have the Vanilla Heavy coming out from Ray 41 up there on the roof, and a lot of very close-range aggressive weapons to back that up. It's working well for them early on, having gotten one pick off the other team. But they've lost a lot of their backline now, and that's going to be a bit problematic.
Yeah, 2 down already. Tage is running around underneath here trying to stay alive for a bit.
Absolutely. Finding the right time to sneak in is a very important part. Someone did go down to chase them, so they got to have it just the right time, and the armor is going to help them protect this first checkpoint. But not quite enough. The Booyah Bomb saves the heavy and is going to keep this push alive. Brisbane are just storming through this right now. Or should I say booming?
We did have that Stingray cam out, but that unfortunately didn't manage to do anything there. Murray, yeah, the Dynamo up on this top pillar here is quite dangerous. You can reach so much from up there, as we just saw with that pick.
Absolutely. I don't think it'll surprise anyone if Brisbane picks tower control as their set from this point on. They've shown such a dominant performance here. There's just... Okay, we do get one splat on the tower there finally, and we are seeing some coordination here. They've pincered in beautifully. That was very well coordinated there, especially because they were under a lot of time pressure. To be able to pull that off was quite incredible.
Yeah, very nice.
Perth have done quite a lot of clutch saves to stop these KOs, but Brisbane are just all out attacking, and it is very hard for them to get on the board at all at this point.
Pax was trying to move forward and I think get a couple of picks onto the Dynamo and the heavy there, but not quite able to. Definitely needs more turf to be able to use that range blaster properly, I believe.
Absolutely. I mean, the Rapid Blaster does need quite a bit of space to move around, and also is much more effective when you have corners to attack your opponents around. Ooh, yeah. Unfortunately, the Dynamo, I mean, I imagine that was just ink from above. Because I don't think Murray knew exactly where they were, but incredible work. Alzi here now just sharking it out. They know they have a strong lead, so they really need to get a wipe if they want to be able to clear this last KO point. They're not quite able to get any picks with the Inkjet, and 2 go down on Brisbane. Make that 3. Alzi's going to try and stay alive, but I don't like their chances.
Yeah, Shades here does manage to retreat. Shades is giving chase, but oh, there we go, does get the splat.
Yeah, but did buy their team a lot of time. That's the thing. While that was pretty much a wipe, the fact that Alzi was able to stay out that long prevented Perth from really getting going on their own push. Inkjet's gonna try to shoot out that Heavy Remix, doesn't quite get the pick. The Heavy Remix seeing that Inkjet and being like, nope!
Nope, I'm out, I'm out.
And who could blame him? We do have Perth finally reaching the first checkpoint, but a player down, this is going to be very hard to push through, especially with those specials just flowing in. The Booyah Bomb's going to be a nice stop at first, but the Dynamo is now raining down on top. And Perth know it's not safe to move forward.
Yeah, there are so many perches for this Dynamo to defend the tower push here. They really probably need to take out Murray before they can do too much in terms of a push.
Absolutely. Murray is managing to get a little bit of damage on that Inkjet there. Not quite able to take it out, but again, like everyone on Perth is afraid of this. I think the Rapid Blaster might have been a pick specifically to counter it, and while it is pressuring Murray a little bit, it's not getting the pick, and the pick is the most important part here. The team can't feel safe as long as the Dynamo stands.
Yeah, this is definitely Dynamo versus Rapid. Oh, there we go. Perks gets that splat. Very nice.
That will be very important for them. Perk's now in a good position to move around, but the Inkjet is cancelled out. That's very unfortunate. That could have been very helpful for the team, and now instead they are looking at 45 seconds and not a checkpoint cleared. Wait, actually, it's a 3 checkpoint now. What am I saying? 2 checkpoint? It doesn't matter right now. What matters is we've got 30 seconds left. Shades is going for the Dynamo now. Someone needs to take care of it. And the remix as well. I'm noticing that the players on Perth can't seem to get both of them down at the same time. It's really causing them strife.
Ranged weapon is really helping Brisbane keep Perth away from the tower and helping them keep the turf down.
Because Brisbane is so well spread out as well, it's hard to take them both out at the same time. We do have a checkpoint clear here and 2 members down. The Dynamo and Inkjet are left. The Inkjet gets a lovely pick, which is going to set Brisbane up nicely. Ray just trying to defend that tower while their teammate jumps in. They do manage to clear it, but unfortunately it costs them dearly. That is going to be a 3-0 to Brisbane Boom, and a 3-0 is very hard to accomplish in the Firetail League. Just again, looking at this replay, we saw the very concerned effort to get everyone in there in time, but they weren't quite able to get. Oh, hang on, people are telling me my mic's weird. I'll get to that in a second. They weren't quite able to get what they needed to make that happen.
It's. I know something about you were saying before about how Brisbane they have the Dynamo and the heavy, but they're spreading out so that Perth can't take them out both at once. And then we have, the 2 frontliners just running forward and getting splats. It's just so well structured in terms of strategy.
Their defense seems pretty infallible at this point. The only time Perth can get in is usually in the last minute. And by that point, even if they do manage to clear some checkpoints and get some momentum going, all the specials coming out from Brisbane are just shutting them down like nothing else. We saw that in our pre-game match stats. Brisbane are just much better at building special. They have weapons that are much better at doing it, and they have players that are much better at doing it. It's really helping out with their defenses.
Yeah, I will say though, that match was going back and forth a lot more than either of the previous games. I mean, the first game was a KO. Second game went back and forth a bit, and then that game, it felt to me like Perth were getting control even more than the game before. So if that continues, then we may be seeing some much closer matches very soon. And speaking of the upcoming matches, we have the second set. The mode has been chosen, and surprise, surprise, it's going to be Rainmaker.
We did see this coming, and we have that lovely voice clip that comes up when it's picked as well, which is wonderful. The early bans seem to be on Albacore and Manta Maria. I'm saddened to see Albacore getting banned again, but I understand that it's not compatible with everyone's playstyles. I think also I've got confirmation, while it's not 100%, that neither of these teams will be substituting tonight. So we're looking at the same players for the entire set. So that is going to limit their options a bit, but now that we know what we're working with, we can see what they have ready to go, and hopefully be a bit better at predicting what these match outcomes are going to be.
Yeah, I think we almost have the map chosen. I'm waiting for it to come up on the overlays just to, be all official and everything.
Of course, don't want to spoil it for the audience, but we might know what it is.
Yep.
And it's going to be a good match, I think. It is.
This is an interesting map, that's for sure.
Absolutely. It is Wahoo, yeah. Wahoo World. This is a great Rainmaker map. It's brilliant. The main struggle of Rainmaker on Wahoo World is, do I push the side loop? That's the most common way to push it. Yep. Or do I take a sneaky up the ramp?
Yeah, and they're very different defense-wise. At least I found, if someone's pushing around that loop, they have high walls on either side of them. You basically have to rush at them. Whereas that ramp, it's a bit easier, I find, to, shoot at them from the side or flank around them or something. So it's definitely a trade-off of looking at the other team and where they are and even what weapons they have, and then, picking the right approach.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's basically a gamble on your opponent's strategy. Are they going to be just lobbing bombs in this loop? Or are they spread out and prepared for anything? There's definitely ways to take advantage of both. I think what we're going to see as well, we haven't seen too much of it so far. This is a very good map for an Ultra Stamp.
Oh, yeah. That would be good to see. I would enjoy seeing an Ultra Stamp in this. Who do you think would play it?
That is a good question. Based on the players we have right now, Tay maybe? I haven't seen Tay play anything but an NZAP so far, but...
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. Alright, I think we're about to go into the first game of set 2. Rainmaker on Wahoo World, and Perth Fury will be wanting to start winning these games now, because they lost the first set, so...
Now we know Perth feel a lot more comfortable with Rainmaker, and it's not hard to see why looking at our loadouts. They have a lot of very in-your-face weapons. They are looking to knock this one out quickly. Soda Slosh are going to be an excellent bit of tech to really get them across the line. A very early push in there by that Tenatech, trying to get some picks. Does manage to trade out, which is going to slow down the first push. Maybe not what Perth wanted. Brisbane looking like they might be in a better position here.
Yeah, we have quite a few bombs coming out, just making sure Brisbane have that turf control as they've been playing the last few games. But missiles coming out, that's going to get a bit more paint down. This is becoming very much Brisbane's colour very quickly.
Absolutely. Ray with a lovely set of picks there and able to push up at the right time. Murray's going to be moving forward. And yeah, we're seeing that bomb meta in play straight away. So many bombs are just being chucked into that loop because it is not a safe place to approach, especially when your opponent is repping some shooters.
Yeah, I would say though that's part of why we have the bucket, because it can sit up on that battlement from spawn and rain down.
I gotta say, excellent job by Ray there, biding their time, waiting for the Rainmaker to be reset, and just cutting it off completely. I reckon if Perth had left the Rainmaker in spawn and hoped for a reset, they would have taken it to knockout.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The strategies in play here for Brisbane are so much higher class than they were last week. And I'm just absolutely impressed by the team's amazing progress in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I'm really curious how much they practiced in this last week, to be honest, because I have a feeling it's a lot.
I would agree with that. Shades getting caught out by multiple members of Brisbane who are going to be able to shut that one down nice and quick. And now that they have such a good score, they're probably just going to be going for fights more than anything. I don't think they're going to push unless they absolutely get an upper hand.
Although we do have 3 minutes left, so that is a long enough time for 41 to still be a fairly dangerous score.
Of course, I mean, one quick loop push and it's all to play for, but we'll see how that pans out. It seems like a very neutral game at the moment. We're just seeing fight after fight. Ray again doing very good work, getting a lot of very key splats. Very impressed with their play so far in this match. Let's check the Strutty's instant replay, just checking this one out because it was just nice. Like we saw the lovely bomb play to deny some space. Someone jumped down, very quick flick, and gets that splat as well. Now looking at the leaderboard, we do have 2 members down on Brisbane Boom, and the specials are coming out for Perth. This is their push. They've got missiles out on all 3, so they're definitely going to be going through the loop. Nero drops down, but doesn't quite get the pick, which means Tay can move through and get that lead. And just like that, it's switched back.
Very nice. 30 points. Quite a good lead on this one. A lot safer than 41, I would say. So that's going to be an interesting score for Brisbane to overtake now.
It did cost Perth all of their players to make that happen. While it does get them lead, and that is the important part, they've lost a lot of special, and that's going to make their defense just that little bit harder moving forward. That being said, the Rainmaker not incredibly mobile right now, stuck on the glass bridge. Is not able to do too much with it. Link is going to push up, does get taken out by Murray. Excellent shot on the Rainmaker. And Rainmaker is just trying to keep themselves up at the moment while their team respawns.
Yeah, having to dodge around and defend from that inkjet there probably delayed Murray quite a bit of time, actually.
Only having 17 seconds left on the Rainmaker timer. I don't know if their team is going to be in position in time for them to go into the loop with help. So they have to rush in alone, and it is going to cost them. Brisbane playing it a bit too slow there, not able to get the picks they needed and positioning in time. With 2 down and only a minute left to play for, this is looking good for Perth Fury.
Yeah, we've got Nero, I think, from behind there, but walks into a 3v1, which is never what you want to do.
Nice idea for a flank, but did get noticed a bit too soon. Booyah Bomb is going to allow them to apply a lot of pressure to the Rainmaker, but it stays up. Link knows how to run this bad boy and knows how to run it safe. And that is what they need to do right now.
He has almost enough time on it to play out the game as well.
Not quite though.
No,
I think they were like a few seconds shy, which meant they were definitely going to be vulnerable to overtime regardless. Losing it this early might actually work in Perth's favor. They've just got to make sure now that they build some special and that they don't lose any players at this key moment in the match. Alzi does get one down and is looking for a second. Perks takes him out with a slosher, but the Rainmaker trades back. If Link can get this splat, it's going to be looking very good for Perth, but Link has to retreat, meaning Murray is in with a good chance to move forward as long as Link doesn't get the drop on them.
Yeah, we have Tay sitting up on one of the battlements there playing defense.
Oh, Link almost got in, but was blocked by the Booyah Bomb. The missiles come out as well, and that's going to mean that Murray stays up. However, with only Neru to defend them, that Inkjet is going to be causing them a load of strife. The teammates are jumping in now, but can they keep it together with only 24 seconds left on the Rainmaker?
We've got all these bombs coming out as well, which is constantly forcing Murray to move and chases him straight into the splatter shot there. Very nicely played.
I mean, Perth knew what they were doing with that ending there. Link was expertly picking their time. They could have engaged the Rainmaker earlier, but it might have lost them their life. So they dropped down, they rotated around, and they flanked instead. Unfortunately, the Booyah Bomb came in, but the missiles scared off the Rainmaker. All of these little factors that Perth put together made sure that that last push was nigh on impossible.
Yeah, just the constant pressure there from all kinds of different angles. That's how you want to be playing that kind of thing. Even, nobody even got particularly close, I feel, from Perth. They were staying back a bit. They were using the specials. They were using the bombs. So it feels to me like they were trying to make sure they didn't die, but also putting as much pressure as they possibly could onto the Rainmaker carrier. So beautiful play there.
Yes, Brisbane did definitely play that quite defensive. They knew that if they rushed with the Rainmaker, they were going to be absolutely done for, but they didn't manage to open up that moment. They did get one early on in the match, and it was quite good for them, but they weren't able to continue it because Perth had all the bombs to shut that down. Yeah. The second time they tried to do it, there were multiple times Rainmaker was just sitting in mid, waiting for their teammates to get a splat and then push down the loop, and it just didn't happen. Whether the splats weren't coming out or the positioning wasn't quite right, they just didn't have a means to increase that score. And I wonder if they'd snuck around to ramp, maybe they could have done something, you know?
That's what I was thinking as well. We only had loop pushes in that entire game, I think. It would have been interesting to see what could have happened if we had the ramp push.
Yeah, I don't know if either team was really in a position to make it happen, but they could have made that position happen. I don't know if it would have been viable, but it definitely increases your score quite a bit faster. And considering we weren't going to KO anyway, it might have been just enough.
But I guess we'll never know. Looks like we are going to be going to Pit.
Oh, heck yes!
This is going to be interesting.
Every time this comes up, I'm going to say best map because I love Piranha Pit Rainmaker. It changes how the map plays entirely. It's so strategic. There are so many avenues for approach. There's so many ways to play it. It's just so wonderful. And it's absolutely Neru's map, to quote Wacko Jacko in the chatto.
Oh, yeah. The way this is arranged, I feel like this is the flattest map of any of the Rainmaker maps in the entire game. You have that massive flat section throughout the entire mid, which for Neru and Ray 41 with their heavies, I imagine they're going to be just able to control that perfectly. And then you just have that little ramp at the end that you got to get up to, and you're basically at the target. So, you want your shooters there, or even the Dynamo, which can flick upwards, the sloshers. If you can get a couple of picks off and just do that last few points, KO on this can be so easy.
Absolutely, and especially because there's so many ways to go about it. Teams might take a wide left flank and use the rail to get really far up. They might just jump off the box onto the rail if they get the rail in their color. They might take the far conveyor, which is definitely the safest option and the one that requires the least effort. But that's what teams are ready for. They might push all the way into close conveyor.
Yep.
They have so many options here, and I love seeing how every team approaches this because everyone's different.
Yeah. Let's see what comps we've got for this one. Do we have... Okay.
Not surprised to see the heavy remix. What I am surprised to see is not much of a change coming out from Perth Fury. They're keeping their very close range comp despite the fact that there's not as many places for them to duck and hide on this map. Admittedly, the conveyor ramps are pretty good for surprise attacks, but after you leave mid, I'm not quite sure about the usability on that. That being said, they seem to have a better control of mid early on. They do lose a member, however, by clustering too close together, which means that we're probably going to see Brisbane on the first approach.
Yeah. You do have to go up one of these ramps here to be able to even grab the Rainmaker, which I would hope both teams have been watching out for that. You really got to keep an eye on that ramp, because even if you just prevent someone picking up... Oh, Neru trying to go for the far ramp there.
Yeah, it is definitely the faster ramp because it does go up. And the thing is, while I will say Brisbane did have control over close ramp, I think Neru was just worried they get splattered on the way up and they just wanted to increase their score as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like, teams know that this is a game where you slapdash score points. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't help but wonder if playing that a bit more slowly might have helped, considering a lot of their team was still in position.
Although we do
points on the board for Brisbane, though, so props to them.
We do have quite a bit of time left, so perhaps it was just, you know, the early push to get a bunch of points, just so if they don't get that chance again, they have a good scoreline too.
Downside though, Perth now get more special builds because they are losing. It's a very small amount, but it is enough to potentially start a...
Oh, Aldi!
Brilliant shot by Aldi, pushing forward here, though the rest of the team was harassing the Rainmaker, I hope. I didn't exactly see what was going on back there, but the Rainmaker was definitely held by the other team. I think they were just trying to take out supporting members. That's what I'm going to chalk that down to. Nero is going for a surprise flank around here now. Hopefully that pays out for them. No! While they're going for it, the rest of their team has fallen to the close range shooter comp. The T-Tech not able to defend quite as effectively as they'd like. And the Soda Slosher takes out Perks at a pivotal moment. Sorry, Perks took out at a pivotal moment. Yeah, very, very important splat there. And is going to allow Adelaide an absolutely dominant performance here moving forward.
That was an entire burst bomb rush just aimed at Murray there. They definitely wanted to take Dynamo.
A lovely placed bomb. I believe that was by Ray. Stopping that definitely would have been a lead-earning push. That being said, Adelaide are not done yet. They do manage to pick it up and keep going. They get stuck in the little corner, but it's a good score in that little corner.
Also, not Adelaide.
Oh, right, of course. You know what? I'm doing okay. You doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Because they're orange.
Yeah, the colours, I have to keep checking. But, you know,
me. Perth have taken the lead and are doing quite a good job at keeping it together. Very well done there. Could be a game-ending push, but Brisbane could get a wipe here as well. The thing is, I think Perth are going to be expecting a strong offense, and they're probably going to spread themselves a bit wide, just so they don't all get taken out at once.
Yeah.
You have 2 down there. Ooh, 3. This could be something.
Very nicely done there. Alright, that should be a nice push. They do have
It is a long path to the goal, however, and Respawn will come in time. Even though all of Perth have gone down here by this point, we do have Respawn already ready, and Ray has to back up to defend themselves as quickly as they can. They could take Rail Jump here. Rail Jump is available. Ooh!
Nice.
Brilliant shot by Shade. That is very important in stopping what could have been a dastardly push. Murray's in a good position and Alzi's moving forward. They were on 27! They were absolutely on 27. Perth are able to take that out of there and put it in their goal. I think they're going for a reset at the safest location possible. Yes, they are. They do not want to risk losing the Rainmaker here. That was very close. Brisbane are going to be seething over that one.
We have 45 seconds left now as well to repeat that stunt and try and get this win.
Absolutely. We see a lot of the members of Brisbane are positioned quite far forward, just trying to get picks in spawn because they know that their team has control over mid. And while they do get very close, they have indeed taken the lead in the last second, which means that Perth now have to do the overtime push. Most of the members of the other team have been taken out, but now they can't afford a reset. This is their shot. Brisbane are looking to dethrone the Kings of Rainmaker. Can they do it? Inkjet firing on from high, doesn't quite get the pick on Tay, who is moving wonderfully. Ray 25 trying desperately to get it, but doesn't. But now Ray's behind them, and Tay knows that. Shade's not able to get the defense, which means Tay tries to take them out, can't quite do it. The Booyah Bomb is going to spell curtains.
Oh.
And Brisbane Boom have unseated the Kings of Rainmaker, proving that they really might be able to win this entire series.
That was so nicely done at the end there. We had the inkjet come out from both teams. They ended up fighting each other. Took a couple of people out each, I think. And then right at the end there, that Booyah coming out and trapping the Rainmaker in the corner.
Oh,
so perfect. It's brutal, but I love to see it.
It's brutal but brilliant, absolutely. I can't agree more. I mean, we saw some excellent Rainmaker dodging there from Perth, just trying to avoid that inkjet, and they did succeed in doing so, but at the cost that they left someone behind their positioning that they couldn't do anything about.
Yeah, I am wondering if the prevalence of short-range shooters in their comp is partly just for movement reasons. There's plenty of other weapons that are also light class or such and have good movement. But, the short-range shooters are kind of the default one. And also the painting ability. If the Rainmaker doesn't have to be painting a path forward, if their teammates have done that for them, that can make things go a lot faster. So
exactly. I think additionally to that, the thing is, Brisbane did pick that map. Because Perth were able to win the first set. This is the first time that Perth actually get to pick a Rainmaker map. And chances are they've got a pocket one that is going to be just right for them to get a very good score, potentially even a knockout.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right.
Blackbelly Skate Park Rainmaker. I feel like people usually avoid this for tournaments.
Yes, but considering the performance we saw last week, I'm not surprised Perth are picking it again. I believe they were the ones that picked it last time as well. Worked very well for their team. They were able to absolutely blitz through the opposing competition and then just hold their ground afterwards. Chat definitely loves this map.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the public perception changed in the last few weeks. I don't know, but I remember people used to be like, "Oh, not this one. It's such a slog. I can't get through the half pipe." And now everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, we just push it all the time. It's just all push." I love this map.
Yeah. Laura has a point about the rework that Nintendo did on this one a while back, which did make it much nicer. So I'm keen to see this. I love playing and watching this map. So
okay, no lineup change coming out from Perth. Brisbane, I think that's pretty similar as well.
Yeah, I think we're sticking with the same thing at this point.
Yeah, I think they know what works. Both teams have a win in Rainmaker so far, so they wouldn't be completely at a loss with their comps. The early neutral sees, apart from that unexpected Rainmaker pickup from Perth, very weird game. I can't even... Alright, Link has the Rainmaker, and there's only one member left on Brisbane. They're going to be able to go really far with this.
He just was running around the side, basically uncontested for that entire time since he picked it up.
Admittedly, the Booyah Bomb was definitely pivotal in slowing down that push from the heavy remix there. Nero definitely bought their team a lot of time to get onto respawn, because otherwise that was almost KO territory.
Yeah, that was incredibly dangerous there.
Alright, but now that they've got it under control, I was going to say Perth were very clustered together with their opening push. They did lose the members first, but they really turned it around. Now they're super spread out and ready for defense. Tay, armor saves them, very lucky. Able to move around and potentially apply pressure to this Rainmaker while the team is away. They get the bomb out, but it doesn't quite find the pick.
Very nice play there by Nero.
Absolutely. Looking at it now, they are going to be moving up onto platform. Oh, but Shade with the inkjet. A very nice stop. The rest of the team was not in front of that push. So getting the double there is going to definitely help their team in stopping this push and keeping the other team on the back foot.
Yeah, it looks like Nero managed to retreat from that. So should be hiding out somewhere in a defensive position.
One thing of note as well is that while most of Perth Fury were beside that push, they were all ready to go and jump onto that Rainmaker. They know how to run a Rainmaker defense. And I'm honestly amazed that Brisbane were able to topple them on Piranha Pit just before.
We did just have, I think, 3 down onto Perth there. So there should be a good push by Brisbane. We've got a Booyah coming out as well. They need a bit more paper. There's no path there.
Ooh, and the missiles combined with all that indirect damage is going to clean that one up nicely. Unfortunately, they didn't have the benefit of the inkjet because their inkjet was carrying. Oh, but that's a wipe!
Nice.
Ray 25 with the wipe there on the burst is going to get them not quite KO. But man, that is going to be so tough for the other team to beat. That is incredible.
We're halfway through the game as well, so we have 2 minutes 30 to go, but look at this. Has to get all the way around it. That was already painted, which is also brilliant.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
a lot of Brisbane were pushed very far forward, which is where they did get picked off. But Archie's instant replay there showing that Ray just stuck to their guns and really kept it together. We're seeing a nice slow push from Perth now with this Rainmaker. They're not overextending too far, though Murray is going to shut down a lot of their forward momentum. We'll see if they can keep this one going with just a Soda Slosher to push and paint forward. Ooh, and the Ink Armor is going to make it very hard for this to continue.
Yeah, I feel like between the Heavy and the Dynamo, Brisbane just have so much ability to defend from the higher points and just keep themselves safe and just raining down and get splats, even if they don't know that Perth is there. So this could be very hard to push.
Interestingly, both K and Shades are sharking at the moment in different sections in mid. I think what they're hoping is to catch out the enemy team pushing forward and just getting their splats just before they pick up Rainmaker. They really want to clutch this one out in the last minute, and who could blame them? They need a KO to win this, and that is not going to be easy. Ooh, Inkjet pops out just as we have a jump out from someone else. Link being the only one left is in a very precarious position. Is going to be able to camp that spawn, but doesn't get the
Oh, very nice work.
Again, doing an excellent job getting a pivotal splat on the member on Perth with the most special up their tank.
Yeah, that was very important there, especially going into 45 seconds left of this game. Brisbane are going to do another push by the look of it.
I think they're going to do it very slow though. There's no reason for them to try and increase their score. I don't think a KO is going to change much at this point. And it looks like Murray, just playing up in that nasty little zone. This is what we call the Rainmaker holding zone, this little section here at the end of the half-pipe, because it's so hard to approach when the Rainmaker is just constantly firing onto that platform. This is nasty.
Yeah, Tay almost managed to get that there, but did go down. Perks with a bucket. Very nice counter weapon there, using that bucket from far range.
Yeah. This is their last chance now. Shades is going to try and push up early, doesn't get anywhere. Perks notably not picking up the Rainmaker because they have that rush ready to go. Hopefully the burst rush can buy them time. No! Oh, perfectly thrown! I didn't even see who that was, but a perfectly thrown bomb lands at the feet of the Rainmaker, and that is going to be Brisbane taking out not only this set, not only Rainmaker, but Rainmaker from Perth Fury. They must be on top of the moon right now.
That was so well played there. Jeez. Splat slightly higher on Brisbane Boom as well there. So definitely was helping them throughout it, but just that push both of the early pushes we had from each team. Brisbane Boom getting that very nice push through the one, but even Perth Fury's push previous to that, I feel like the teamwork was really showing. They had some kind of strategy for pushing forward. Well, Brisbane Booms was a little bit more on luck, but definitely felt like there was some good strategy and teamwork behind both of those.
For sure. I'm wondering if Brisbane just have the perfect combination to stop Perth's Fury, or if it's more of they're just a really strong team. We have a note from an interview here from before the series starting saying Perks was worried about Brisbane the most, and right now I think we are seeing that worry be realized in real time. Congratulations to Brisbane, but we're still going to play out the third set. The question is, will Perth pick zones or clam blitz?
I feel like it's probably going to be... I think if I was in their shoes right now, I would pick clam blitz. Just because we've been seeing such good turf control and lockout from Brisbane. And I feel like...
It's
they're doing splat zones. All right.
I wasn't expecting it, but I mean, I guess Perth aren't feeling very confident right now, and playing a game like Clam Blitz just wasn't up their style today.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one like Rainmaker where you have to be pushing forward with something to get to the target. So there is some similarities between Clam Blitz and Rainmaker for the modes. Whereas I find tower control and zones are more similar, because, I mean, zones, you're just defending a spot on the map. And tower control, you're defending a spot that's moving, but at a predefined pace, not at your own pace. So that's why I was thinking that they wouldn't pick splat zones, because with how we've seen Brisbane play with their turf control, their ability to just lock down an area, it seems like splat zones would be their mode.
Absolutely. I'm very worried about Perth's safety at the moment because of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to imagine they have a strategy they've been working on between sets.
Yes.
Like, if they have something that they're sure they can lock out, and they've also definitely got a ban up their sleeve to stop Brisbane's most powerful map. So they use that as well. The thing is, like, tower control is just, you have to lock out with 3 players and then have one person ride. Splat zones is, you have to lock out with 4 players, and that's much easier to do for a team like Brisbane, who really excel in their positioning and their entrenching.
Yeah.
It's as you've said, I can't see Perth having an advantage moving into this, unless they have some kind of trick up their sleeve.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe they're thinking that because it's splat zones, we might see Nero and Amare sort of stick to the same positions more and become a bit more predictable. And I'm wondering if they're thinking about maybe flanks and the such, really going all in on those flanking weapons and just trying to get the constant splats onto those 2 players and be able to hold the zones from there.
So quad flank?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before and it has worked. Because
I mean, they seem to be running a lot of shooters so far today, so I could see it happening.
And they seem to be doing a bit better with the higher percentage of shooters against Brisbane's comp as well. So I expect that to continue. I'm curious what maps they're going to choose.
I do have our bans in here. We have had Brisbane banning Blackbelly, makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
They like to hold one area, and that is very much 2 zones. And Humpback has been banned by Perth Fury.
Interesting. No, that makes sense. Dynamo and Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a pretty easy one to see coming. We have the Reef for our first map here.
Going back, someone in chat earlier said going back to basics, and this is the basic map. Reef stones, like quintessential Splatoon map of everything. I am so keen to see this actually.
Reef zones, though, you don't see it too often. It's a zone that can be very easily held, as easily held from above as from the sides. Having a path over the zone is something that I don't think any other maps really have, with the exception of maybe Schellendorf having its glass roof. Like, there really isn't a lot of maps that have something like this. And so I do wonder if this is going to work in Perth's favor. It could be quite interesting.
Well, I mean, with the Dynamo, of course, that's able to just rain down ink onto the zones. I'm expecting we might see the bucket again, partly for raining ink down, but also being able to be on the ground and flick up over the walls and up onto the bridge. But yeah, I mean, even specials on this. I think a Booyah can cap a zone on this one because it is a split zone.
It is a bit like curved as well, and that tends to help with the Booyah.
Yeah.
It doesn't do too much flat damage. Bubbles, definitely. I could absolutely see that happening.
Even splashdown, which we haven't been seeing.
No.
But it can be nice on this one to splash down from the bridge and paint a zone. And
makes for a nice surprise.
Yeah, potentially take out a few enemy players at the same time.
Now, maybe you can help me with this, because this is a 2-zone map. How does Inkstorm work with this map? Does it work under the bridge?
I always forget this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, Inkstorm's great for 2-zone maps when the zones are close, but I don't know if it will work.
FLC.
Excellent. Thank you, FLC. Okay, great. No. In that case, probably not going to see that.
Yeah.
Ooh, we do have a ballpoint coming out for the first time today.
Nice.
In fact, we haven't seen a ballpoint a lot this tournament, so that is nice to see. Not too much of a change coming out here from Brisbane, as expected. We knew we'd be seeing that Dynamo and Heavy combo, and I'm not at all gawking at what we're seeing in front of us. The Junior is going to be nice. That does have those bubbles we mentioned, as well as that torpedo.
I mean, and just general painting ability as well. That is a very nice weapon to be using on this map.
Oh, look at this. Nero can easily pepper these zones. just set up perfectly while their team does the rest of the work. I mean,
Yeah.
what a great set of synergy to go with. But look at this, we do have a swap here. The Dynamo going down means that Heavy Remix is pressured off the zone, and we're able to have Perth move in, at least for a little bit.
Oh, that was some nice teamwork, just chasing the enemy into Ray's ball point there. Very nicely done.
Absolutely, getting that pick was pivotal in not losing control over the zone here. And Booyah Bomb goes above the bridge. Not sure if that was intended, but we are seeing a lot of neutral right now. Potentially with the ink output, we're going to see Brisbane capture. No, they lose the players that they need to capture the zone. Owlsie's going to have to use the inkjet to get down here. Does manage to get a pick and fire onto the zone, and that's probably going to be a penalty.
Yeah, oh, does get taken out on landing by Link there.
I'm going to have a look at the Strutties replay here just to see Owlsie did manage to get a double there as well as get neutral for their team. But unfortunately, it amounted to not too much, as when they landed, they were taken out.
Yeah. Here we go. We've got the bubbles ready on the junior here. I do want... Oh, yep. Here we go.
Yeah, they're looking for those insta-det bubbles. Oh my goodness! Link with the insta-det. I didn't expect 2 enemies to be there. I don't think they did either. That is a 3-1 for Link there. Doing a marvelous job in making sure that all the key members of Brisbane were out of position and taken out. We are indeed moving to another instant replay. And, I mean, Perth have so many points on the board now. Was this their strategy? Was this their ace in the hole the whole time?
Just wait until we get through the zones and then take it all out there. Alright, we got this inkjet coming out again. Owlsie with the inkjet getting so many splats as usual.
I mean, inkjet was a very popular special when Splatoon started up, and it has never really fallen out of favor since. It is just so good for that insta-det damage. But look at this, we're seeing members of Brisbane going down, and we haven't... Okay, we do finally get a penalty, but, I mean, I'm not seeing Brisbane staying up, and that's usually something that they've been quite good at throughout these sets. I wonder if flank force was a real thing.
I mean, they seem to keep losing quite a bit of the map as well, which has definitely been what they've been relying on until now. This inkjet coming out, not able to get any picks. Oh, almost there, but not quite. But this map is now very blue again, so maybe Brisbane are getting that control that they've been using so well until now.
It seems like it. We've got 2 members down on Perth Fury. Brisbane are going to be able to hold their positioning for quite a while. You'll notice they're not overextending into spawn here. It was working for them, but Link with the ultimate disrespect before immediately receiving some karma. That should go on someone's reel. We're going to see another cat back, and this is going to be lead for Brisbane Boom. The ballpoint being a key part of these zone takebacks is not up right now, which is going to be quite problematic. As we approach our final seconds, Adelaide are going to struggle to get in here. It's not Adelaide, it's Perth. My goodness, what is wrong with that? Brisbane take the match.
Oh, very nicely done there. Just look at that map and how far they've got in the blue paint. And like you said, they weren't overextending. So that's probably mostly specials and bombs and such.
That makes a lot of sense. We are definitely seeing a lot of very strong defensive play from Brisbane today, and it is definitely working in their favor.
Yeah, they had a few more splats there than Perth Fury. So of course that would have come in handy as well as for keeping Perth Fury off the zone. There was a very interesting moment actually right at the beginning from Link. I think Link with the Kenza Jr. where he used a bubble on the bridge, dropped down onto the zone, used a bubble towards the ramp as a defensive bubble, and then turned around and used the third one on the zone. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before, but it makes a lot of sense because the bridge is a really important place to hold on this map because of how you can just rain it down to the zone, and also it just easily drop down to get splats. And then that defensive bubble behind would block someone coming through the ramp, and then finally going for the zone. It's a very safe way to play, and I really liked that strategy there.
Makes a lot of sense, right? If you're a junior, you don't have a lot of combat options, so you want to make the most of every bubble. And being able to deny that much space by spreading them out in such a way, it's very clever to see, and I'm glad that people are figuring out some cool tech with these bubbles.
It's like people talk about bombs sometimes as like having another player for 10 seconds. But basically what Link did there was suddenly just there was 3 extra players playing for Perth Fury on the map. Sure, not doing a great amount, but still threatening enough that it might have delayed Brisbane from moving in those directions for a little bit.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I just saw that and I love that. That was a great play. Absolutely adore it.
Yeah. So we move into our next round here. Adelaide getting to... sorry. You know what? I don't know what it is, but something about Perth just says Adelaide to me. I have to formally apologize to everyone. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to say the Fury, and that will hopefully help me out.
Yeah, I hope.
The Fury finally get to pick a map with this mode.
Yes.
That they picked this mode, I imagine, for a reason. So let's see what the Fury can do with the power to choose, right? Like what will they pick to really capitalize on this here?
I mean, if they win this one though, Brisbane Boom are going to get to pick the last map of the game, and that's going to be super important. So either way, Perth Fury, they're going to have to play at least one more game. Well, if they win this one, they play a map they don't pick. If they lose this one, then they pick the third. But either way, they're going to be in a tight spot. So
yeah, definitely.
This is going to
Perth are in trouble.
Yeah, this is going to be important.
I think the best thing for them now is to make sure they at least get one of these two games to really help with their confidence. Because while Perth had a really good first week, these teams are only going to get stronger, and they're only going to get tougher, and they're only going to get more coordinated as time goes on. Assuming they don't use up all their good players.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got to get an even play.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing with this league as well is that we are gathering a lot of stats for it. Like, you can go on the Firetail events website and you can view all these stats about all the matches that have been happening. And I imagine that most, if not all, the teams are probably using that data to try and come up with some strategies. So I do also wonder if we're going to see, in a couple of weeks towards the end, if some teams just completely flip their strategies and try and, bring that element of surprise in. Because otherwise, some of the teams might get quite predictable.
I mean, it makes sense as well, right? Like, because they can't play the same players, they're going to be playing with different teams, and different teams have to have different strategies. You can't retrofit one team's strategy onto another if they're not compatible with it.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to see these teams change and evolve, hopefully for the better as the season goes on. And hopefully not being forced into unlikable situations. So we're moving on to Splat Zones on Piranha Pit. I get why Perth Fury have picked this.
Yeah, I mean, Zones on Pit is a very interesting map, just from how... I mean, it's another split zone map, and they have those ramps up. So let's see what they've done with weapons. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like this. You have to be constantly rotating on this map, and to see them pretty much pull out the other team's comp, I'm not bothered by it too much. We have a Kensa Dynamo on both teams, a Splatling on both teams, shot on both teams, and the only difference is instead of the second shot, Perth have elected for a Soda Slosher, which on this map makes so much sense. Being able to pester those ramps whenever you want is really handy. Early control's a bit back and forth, no major picks on either side going forward. With both the Dynamos taken out, it's going to come down to how this fight pans out. Neru does get one, but his teammate gets traded out. It is so back and forth right now, no one is in control.
And those burst bombs coming out as well, they can do so much damage on this map, especially because you can hide behind various things and just throw them and get splats.
That is Perks with a double so far and harassing the zones like mad. And the best thing about the Soda Slush as well is not only does it have that burst rush, but it has the splat bombs as well. Just when you think you're safe from one type of bomb, the other type of bomb comes out.
Yeah, it's so good on this map, just every bit about it.
Ooh, we do have all the other members of Perth Fury going down during that engagement. Perks being the only one left up. Hopefully trying to distract and tempt some of the other players to chase them down there, but doesn't quite land them. Link does get a pick moving back in, which is going to allow them a bit easier of a re-entry. But with already 50 points on the board, they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Brisbane is, I think, once again, having just great turf control, as we've seen this entire set so far. We will have to see if this is a big change in Perth's comp, so we'll have to see if they can counter with the weapon changes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be giving them too much trouble at the moment. They're just kind of playing it as they have been so far. We're seeing a few changes in their positioning, but nothing too drastic. With 2 down on either side, these zones can flip quite quickly. It'll be interesting to see if Murray can pressure them off that ramp, because that Dynamo is very dangerous up there.
Yeah, we did have a switch back briefly there for Perth, but Brisbane already getting some control. I say that the zone, right now the zones are just going back and forth. We have most of the teams, I think, just trying to paint. Oh, we have 2 down on Brisbane at the moment?
2 down on both sides. These teams are just not able to maintain control over the mid. It's incredibly back and forth. You can see why Perth have picked this map, because it's a lot harder for Brisbane to get set up when you can be attacked from all sides.
Yeah.
The downside of that is they can also be attacked from all sides, and Brisbane are adapting to that. Lovely shot by Link there. That was a very tough shot to make. Able to keep themselves alive and get the splat to boot means that, I mean, Perth just don't have much of a chance to really get going, but they're trying. They're trying really, really hard to make it happen.
Oh, nice splat there by Ray41. Very nicely done. We have a heavy face-off, but Ray25 jumps in as well.
Yep, cancels that heavy face-off. No heavy face-off today. And Ray25 and Murray now in an excellent position to deny spawn travel. And, I mean, that's just going to make it so much harder for Perth to come in. Ray, aggressively takes out multiple members. The air disrespect, something you don't often see because it does waste the rest of your special. But I mean, if you got the skills, you might as well get the disrespect in as well.
That is a perfect battle-winning set there. Like, you can see at the instant replay here, that is exactly what you want to be doing if you're playing Inkjet around that area. So well played there.
We did get neutral for a second, but Brisbane are back in control. Only the heavy is up, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do get the neutral cap very quickly, potentially with a penalty, and we do, but with only a minute left. I mean, Perth only have 9 points on the board. They have to get all the way down to 5 without accruing a penalty, and they're about to get one.
Yeah, 2 people dying on the zone there is not great, although we do have 2 down on both teams. We've got some bubbles coming out here as well. But, I mean, that is one of the things in splat zones, is you do have to be careful where you die, which is not a thing on any other mode. But if you die on the zone, it paints quite a bit, especially on these split zone maps where the zone is quite small.
Absolutely. We do see a lovely use of the burst rush there. I will say Perth haven't accrued a penalty yet. The Booyah Bomb comes out again. It doesn't paint as much on this zone, but it does deny your opponent the ability to move between them. Perks can get this pick. Oh, but Perks is out of ink. That's unfortunate. No. Could have definitely got that pick. The teammate helps them pick it up. And now we're into overtime. Admittedly, Perth have had decent control. They haven't conceded a penalty yet. And if they can keep that up, they'll be sitting pretty. But we have 2 specials ready to come in from Brisbane. And it's all to play for.
Yeah, they're going to have to be quite careful here. If too many members of Perth go down, they've probably... Oh, nice pick onto the Inkjet there.
But Owlsy's using the Inkjet just to paint the zone. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get it. They're trying very hard to get the capture. The Heavy Remix is going to indeed get the cap, and that is going to be that.
Yeah, we had someone die on the zone right at the end there. And as I was saying just before, it did quite a bit of painting. So that was unfortunate.
Absolutely. And then we definitely saw a spark of hope there. Perth Fury definitely not being outclassed by Brisbane Boom, but definitely outplayed. And unfortunately for them, that is going to be 3 sets to Brisbane Boom. Perth now looking to the future and potentially new strategies.
I mean, like at the beginning of this match, we were talking about the stats from last week for both of these teams, and it's almost a turnaround. So Brisbane Boom lost their game last week and only took 3 games out of all 9, whereas Perth Fury won with 2 sets and 6 games. And now we've got Brisbane Boom coming back with the 3-0 for sets, and Perth Fury are only going to take 1 or maybe 2 games. So it's a massive turnaround for Brisbane here. Definitely setting them up as a team to beat in the rest of this league. I'm
going to make a prediction. If your team goes 0-3, you get filled with the energy of a comeback. And then you blitz your next set, which means that Perth are going to be very dangerous next week.
Oh, yeah. They will
That's
be
my
looking
prediction.
for vengeance next week, that's for sure. I mean, let me check. Who they
I
going to be
will say
versing
one
next
thing. We haven't seen River today.
No, that is
And
true.
River is definitely a very strong proponent for Perth Fury. So I wouldn't be surprised to see River playing next week.
Yeah.
Especially after taking a bench for the entire set. Probably see them again soon. We do have zones on Snapper Canal. This one is one of my personal favorites because it is a zone with a massive obstruction in the middle, which means it's very hard to cap it quickly without some good teamwork or a very handy special.
We do also have those heavies that we've been seeing, which can just sit on snipe and paint fairly well. And of course also the Dynamo and the Slosh, which can just put ink over the obstacle and not care at all. And that obstacle, like the top of it, is also a decent position for those weapons as well. It's not the best because it is a slick and you have to jump down to refill your ink tank. But it can be a nice position, especially for a Dynamo, and just defend the zone from on top of that obstacle.
Absolutely. And I can't help wonder at this particular juncture if Perth Fury should have picked Clanblitz.
Yeah. It would have been interesting for sure. Like, I really would have liked to see these teams versus each other in Clan Blitz. I think that could have gone very interesting, especially with the team comps we've been seeing.
Yeah, I imagine the reason they didn't is because Perth Fury were just not confident enough with clans. But I think the thing that all our teams need to realize is no one is confident with clans.
Yeah, like unless you've specially been practicing it, which maybe some of these teams will do in a future week, just, like properly put some practice into Clan Blitz so they can choose that and make sure that their teamwork is on point for it. Because that's what you need.
I think that is the true meta, is if you get good at Clan Blitz, that's a guaranteed set every week that you can take out. Like, who wouldn't want that? That's just a dream.
I mean, and also we'd get to watch it, which would be nice.
Absolutely.
So... I did check before as well what matches we've got next week. So Perth are going to be going up against Sydney next week. So I'd say Sydney, watch out. Perth are probably going to be on a rampage. And we're also going to have Brisbane versus New Zealand next week. So that'll be interesting for sure. And then Adelaide versus Melbourne. That'll be a nice one.
Yeah, that does sound fun. I mean, Perth will be bringing the Fury next week, but I mean, I wouldn't count Sydney out either. I guess we'll have to wait till tomorrow to see how they're playing at the moment, but...
Yeah.
I mean, Sydney really pulled out all the stops in their match last week and only just dipped to Melbourne. It went all the way to the last game, so like... it's going to be a tight series, and
I mean,
it's so good.
Yeah. Speaking of tomorrow, for those who don't know, the matches tomorrow, we have New Zealand versus Melbourne at 11 a.m. AEST, and we have Sydney versus Adelaide at 1 p.m. AEST. And this will be, so the matches are the same time every weekend for the next, this weekend and the next 3. So you've got 6 p.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. Sunday, and 1 p.m. Sunday. So if you're looking for competitive Splatoon to watch, put those in your calendar. Those are the time slots that you'll be looking at.
Absolutely. Especially keep it in mind because I heard a lot of people slept through last week's Sunday games and they were killers. So, I mean, you don't want to miss those.
Yeah. I mean, we always have the VODs up and there's also some events throughout the week, which I also have written up somewhere.
Ooh, I mean, I can tell you FLC's ATAR support desk is on Tuesdays. Where FLC will be going through as much of the matches as possible. We ran a lot of overtime last time, but we still got a lot of information about our teams, things you can learn about playing as a team, and things you can learn about the meta of Firetail League. I was very interested to hear FLC's take on actually how the structure of these pre-made teams is affecting how the teams have to play. So I definitely think it's worth a listen. It's some mind-blowing stuff, so that's always good. And on Thursdays, we have the lovely carry the what is it? It's
Carry the commissioner?
Carry the
Yeah.
Commissioners, that's it. Where it's half interview show, half Checkers and Rambo getting carried by some other players from the league, and having a chill time.
Yeah.
Those
So
are both evening shows, I believe.
Yeah, and we also have Monday. So these are all 6 p.m. AWST. So is that 8 p.m. AST? My time zone calculations.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
All right, 8 p.m. AST. On Mondays, we also have Play the Game, which would be great to watch. So, a few nice little segments there highlighting the various amazing plays that we've seen over the weekend.
I was wondering, and I believe I can get this confirmed because Checkers is in chat. What happened last week is we had some excellent clips to vote on. And the winner of that poll gets a lovely headset from our lovely sponsor, Republic of Gamers.
Yes.
So, I want to know who won that. I'm hoping it'll be on the Twitter channel by Monday, but I also don't want to light a fire under the commissioners if they haven't done it. So we'll see how that pans out. But also voting gets you in the running to win one for yourself. So it's definitely something to check out. Usually on Mondays, if not sometime during the week, you want to get onto the Firetail events Twitter channel and vote for these Play of the Weeks. And with that, we've been stalling for quite a while. I imagine there is some internet problems. Yeah, we do have some problems. Nero seems to be having some internet problems. I'm going to assume they're not with Node 1 because Node 1 has excellent internet and would not be dropping them from these lobbies.
No, definitely not.
So might be worth having the conversation after tonight's game. Looking into Node 1. Okay, I'm pretty much out of vamping things. Do you have anything?
I'm trying to think. Well, what about? I've just been scrolling through, the various rules documents and everything. We have also an MVP award for the Firetail League. So we get to vote on this, the commentators, which is going to be a lot of fun. Also very hard. I'm going to have to put a fair bit of thought into that one. But yeah, there is also an MVP award who will be getting a commissioned artwork of their in-game character. So unfortunately not something that chat get to vote on at all. But
we can't even talk about it. Think about the Brownlow for Firetail League, where there is a secret vote every week on the best players. No one knows about it, and then at the end we reveal all the votes for each week, tally them all up, and find out who our MVP is. I definitely have been taking vigorous notes between comments, and taking notes and commentating, I like to think quite difficult, patting myself on the back a bit.
I've been doing a little bit of that, and it's makes it interesting. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try and bribe any of the commentators, I guess you could try. I can't guarantee it'll work though. But
I did not expect this.
But yeah, that is a thing that will be happening. I assume that'll be announced sometime at the end of the.
I believe that's after round 5. When I think it's going to be announced during the what is it? The All-Stars match. That's what it is. So after our 5 rounds, we're going to have an All-Stars match, where we're going to have the best of the best players battling it out and having a bit of fun. And I think we might even have some of our players commentating as well. Yet to be confirmed. I probably shouldn't say these things on stream. But I'm sure
we'll get told to shut up if we're saying too much. We haven't been told to stop yet, so
I'll tell you what, Tay, I will give an artwork to the least valuable player. My art skills are premium, and I will 100% do that as a nice benefit to one of our players. Alright, we're finally into our last match of the night. We're seeing that lovely power armor.
I am already keen on this. Just look at those comps. We've got Murray coming out with the custom X-Blosh, which is always great to see. And we have a sniper from Ray 41 there, and the Newt as well. Otherwise, just same as usual.
I guess so. Murray did run a custom X-Blosh for zones last week, but wow! That is already a wipe.
Oh boy.
Clearly, Perth just needed a minute to reset themselves. They are firing on all cylinders. Look at this. No one on Brisbane has gotten a pick yet.
We've got Murray's pushing forward here, starting to get set up on this snipe, which is, of course, very dangerous place for an X-Blosh to be. They should be able to just paint the zone a bit here. It has the baller as well. Oh no, they got flanked. Yeah, I assume that baller was intended for the zone, but...
Yeah, they have got a penalty on there now, but like, wow, what a play. Definitely a great way to earn your first 50 points. However, now that we have Brisbane getting set up, now that we're past the emotional whiplash that was the first minute of this game, let's see how Brisbane can respond. If they get set up and get into a good position, like Alzi already taking on a 3v1 and going quite a few players in their favor, that's the kind of thing we expect to see from Alzi. Just really making that work for them. They do have the lead now as well, Brisbane, and they are getting set up to continue their lead and potentially get a knockout in the next few moments.
Yeah, it looks like we've also got, Murray just sitting on this obstacle in the middle here. Get sniped, very nice snipe by Ray. That will be quite important, I feel, because Murray is able to do so much damage from such a safe place. So there we go, there's the zone going back. We do have quite the penalty here, so...
Murray's the only one left up as well. If Ray can get another lovely pick on that X-Blosh, that will take serious amounts of time, but that custom X-Blosher does have special ready to go, which is going to make a retake a bit more viable for Brisbane.
Yeah, it looks like Alzi is watching that flank this time so that Brisbane don't get surprised by that again.
Ooh, 3 inches at once!
Oh my goodness, and the booyah!
Simultaneously!
And the baller as well. I think we had all specials come out from Brisbane there.
I mean, it worked. Like, they definitely held onto all of them and pressed the launch codes and launched the specials all at the same time. And there was just nothing Perth could do. They launched their own specials, but it just was not enough. I mean, look, Brisbane have been playing on form all day today. I'm not surprised to see a brilliant play like that after such a performance. And what do you do against 4 specials at once? You kind of have to have 4 specials of your own, and they didn't really have them yet. Ooh, Shades with a lovely double pick. Does go down to Alzi, who gets sniped by Ray.
Very nice snipe there. That is an awkward angle, I'm pretty sure. So, Ray's definitely doing some damage with this charger here. Oh, here we go. Here's the X-Blosh coming out again. Yeah,
but
this is...
knows it can't get too close. Ray is already ready to just take them out at a moment's notice. The Inkjet is going to pressure them back, and yes, they are taken out by that indirect damage. Oh man, it is very back and forth now. Brisbane not quite able to take total control because we keep seeing a member of Perth get a nice double. And that's really what they need to keep doing if they want to keep control.
Yeah, this is the kind of match we like to see. But we just keep going back. We might actually play out the timer, which would be nice after some of the games we've had this set.
Absolutely. Oh, that Inkjet is doomed to fail. Ray very much set up to make it happen, but at the cost of their zone. I mean, Brisbane were very much ready to set up, and it just took one member of Perth to sneak in there and get that control back.
Yeah, very nicely played though.
Unfortunately, it hasn't really panned out for them. Perth, while they did get control, weren't really able to keep it. They need to get a few more splats on the board if they're going to make this happen. Ray's just so many Inkjets. That's the 4th Inkjet we've seen from Ray so far this match. As we near the last seconds, it is looking like we're going to get a take from Perth, and we do.
Yep.
But it's a long way to victory here. They really need to make something happen, and Perks is going to try and do exactly that with this forward pressure. They've already been spotted by the X-Blosher, so they're going to have to back out, and we've lost the Sniper, which is going to be problematic.
Yeah, we've already got, I think, Alzi coming around. Doesn't get the zone, but does get a fair bit of ink, and there's this booyah, and Perks are getting that splat, managing to dodge the booyah beautifully.
Definitely going to keep them in this, but they really need a special right now, and they've only got the Fire Fin special, which isn't going to quite cut it. Perks does get the Inkjet just in time, and they are able to get capped. This is the overtime push they need. If they can get this heavy remix, they are set up. Heavy
Alright.
Remix jumps out. Very good decision on Brisbane Boom. Everyone check your pulse as it begins to rise. Perth Fury are able to control this zone for another 20 ticks. They've got this in the bag, and their specials are ready to back them up. Here it goes.
Yeah, we got the missiles coming out. That would have been a good chance for Shades to call where Brisbane are as well. So they probably know very well where they are right now. We got the... Oh!
Brisbane Boom just using all the specials at the end there. We saw the Baller and the Booyah Bomb come out, and the Heavy Remix was able to do just enough painting to shut that one out. I thought for sure Perth had that, but Brisbane played too clever. They didn't rush in, they didn't panic, they built their specials, and they came in as a team. And that really sums up the entirety of this set.
Oh, yeah. Like that, looking at the splats at the end there, those two teams were almost identical on the number of splats they had. But yeah, that teamwork from Brisbane just coming in as one big furious wall of ink. There wasn't much Perth could have done there, especially without, like, they just didn't have specials in the last, I think, minute.
The only option they had was to really push forward and get the splats before the specials could happen. They didn't really have the kit to do that. Perth Fury aren't the kind of aggressive team to really rush forward and hunt out your opponent.
Yeah.
It wasn't really in the cards for them.
Yeah, it was a very interesting comp they played at the end there. I am curious to see if we see more of that in the future games. But that might have to come with some team practice and some scrims and such. So
yeah, I could definitely see it happening. We definitely saw a bit of a change up there towards the end. Like, I mean, there was a different energy to that match, right? Like, we saw Perth Fury rushing out of the gates with that early wipe. That was beautiful, but they just weren't quite able to sustain it. And that's, I think, what Perth Fury are going to be working on now, is sustaining all their efforts.
all right.
We are joined now by some lovely boomers in voice.
Yeah, welcome guys. Alzi and Nero we've got with us tonight for the interviews. How are you feeling after all that?
Definitely a confidence boost, I think, after last week.
That was a bit rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've clearly shown that you're a force to be reckoned with now. Everyone picked you guys to be like one of the top teams, and it was a bit of a shock after the first week. But now that you've come back and shown us that you can really coordinate, what would you say changed the most between last week and this week?
Communication, definitely 100%. I feel like last week we had no idea what we were doing, to be honest.
Yep.
I feel like this week we actually spoke to each other as people rather than just call-outs. So
Yep. Have you been practicing a heap over the week between matches, or?
absolutely not. We haven't.
This is the second time I've played in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so this just magically happened?
We played last night, and I guess we got it all, sucked it all in last night, which was...
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely changed energy from a team of X-rank solo players to a team.
A team.
Which I definitely think is working in your favor. Now, I want to ask as well, so you guys open with tower control.
Yeah.
I imagine that was a very safe pick for you. But how does it feel taking Rainmaker away from Perth Fury?
It's a strange feeling because I don't think they had their best Rainmaker lineup. Personally, I feel like River would have definitely, stuffed us up a bit more and put a stop to us.
Yeah, we were saying that partway through the stream. Like it would have been interesting to see how the games would have played out differently with River.
I saw in chat as well that River just wasn't available tonight. So kind of sounds like you might have gotten a bit lucky on that one.
Yeah, that's very lucky.
Yeah, don't want to detract though. You did definitely earn those matches. That Black Belly match was incredible.
That was absolutely crazy. I think it was Ray 25 that got like 19 kills in the last 10 seconds and then just KO'd, or got to 1 point rather.
Yep. How was VC when you won that?
Very high.
Very, very
Like
loud.
when we got the life and Ray grabbed it, we were all like yelling, "Go, go, go!"
Yep.
That was brilliant, yeah. Cool. Now, I just want to talk weapons a bit for you guys. So, I've noticed that last week you didn't play Nero, and you had the 4 same players, and you kept things fairly rigid and consistent. And this week, you did change things up a little bit, but you seem to be very stuck on your weapons. Do you feel like this could be something that you want to improve upon, or do you think that sticking to just a few select weapons is one of your team's best strengths?
Like I know Alzi mostly just plays shooters. Same with Ray, but I just want trick heavy because it's fun. It's not really.
You know what? Because it's fun is one of the best answers you could have
Yeah.
given.
I mean, we're playing a video game after all, so if you're not having fun, then...
For sure. Like if you're not enjoying it, it's like, why are you playing?
Now, next week, I believe your team is up against the New Zealand Rush.
Ooh.
Okay,
How are
yeah.
you feeling about that matchup?
After this week, quite confident because what was the score against Perth versus New Zealand last week? I can't remember. I know Perth won.
Yeah, it was very close. Perth did just eke it out over New Zealand.
Was it like what was this? It was 2-1, right?
Yes.
Well, it had to be, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
So we'll have to see how they play this week because Sluke wasn't playing last week either, and I think Sluke is definitely one of those like game-changing players like River. So if Sluke plays this week, I feel like that's a win for us because then we get to see what Sluke does and how he plays with that team.
Yep.
Ooh, I like the tactics. This is nice.
So I think that's, but yeah, that has to happen. And then, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're going the approach of like watching all the other matches carefully, looking at the stats, looking at comps, and trying to counter that, sort of. Or,
Almost.
yeah.
In my
just-
head, I'm not really worried about numbers. I'm more worried about what people are doing and
the
why
play
they're doing
style.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I've got one more question in my back pocket. How are you feeling about Clam Blitz?
I wanted to pick it, but
We were very close to picking it.
Oh, for set 1?
Well, it was like our second choice.
Right, so if
So-
Rainmaker had been won by Perth Fury...
We probably would have picked Clams, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. That
You
would've been
heard it
so
here first. Clam Blitz was on the table.
Chat was so disappointed that we didn't get any Clan Blitz. So,
Sorry that we won then.
I mean, well, at least we know now that it's on the table for future games as well. So, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Right, any last things you want to say to the audience of Firetail League, or to your future opponents, or to your current opponents?
Thanks for the support on Twitter, I guess. I've seen a few messages, a few tweets on the good side, thankfully. Yeah. Good luck for our future opponents.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on your 3-0 win. That is going to put you right back up there in the standings.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, and with that, we are going to conclude tonight's set. I want to thank our lovely commissioners, as always, for making sure everything runs smoothly, and of course, Hess for running a wonderful stream. Hess does a wonderful job behind the scenes doing all kinds of crazy stuff and does not get enough recognition, so I want to hear some love for Hess in chat.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to thank my lovely co-host Calamar Cat. I had a bit of a sore voice tonight, and I definitely think they helped me carry it through.
That's all right. I enjoyed this a lot. These are some very hype games, and I am so keen to see the rest of the season. So, and I think we're commentating together again, at least a couple of times.
I believe in round 4 I'll be on the commentary bench with you one more.
Yeah, that'll be good. So,
I'm going to have a lot more knowledge by then. We'll know a lot more about what these teams are capable of. Though seeing Brisbane really explode tonight has put a bit of doubt in my mind. I felt like they were going to be a hit or miss team going into it, but I have seen so much confidence out of them now that I think other teams need to take note. This is a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely.
All right, I'm good to close it out. Any closing notes, Kalamar?
No, I guess just once again, if anyone is looking for any other matches to watch, we do have the matches tomorrow at 11 a.m. AST and 1 p.m. AST. So definitely recommend, if you want to watch some more competitive, you want to watch some hype matches, and you have a free day, come along, have a watch.
Even if you don't have a free day, honestly, take a lunch break. Whatever you're doing, like, these matches are so close because these teams are so evenly balanced. You gotta see these matches. If you can't watch them live, that's okay. Check out the VODs. We've got them available. Just support these players because they're putting a lot into this. And, like, this community is just so warm and welcoming and fun. It's just great to see everyone having a good time. So come on by, say hi in chat, and enjoy some sick Splatoon matches.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to be it from us at the desk. But as always, I want you all to stay fresh. Thank you to our lovely sponsors that make this tournament happen. And we will see you, and by we, I mean Checkers and Rambo, tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.